Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Access Blockbusters pod. If you want to check out the full podcast, check it out on the YouTube channel, Anchor, or Spotify. Hope you enjoy. But speaking of the DCEU, I think, and more on a positive note, that the next upcoming film in the DC Extended Universe is The Suicide Squad. And recently, I think today, I am, recording this on Thursday, July 15th, I believe. And today, the first Suicide Squad reactions came out. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because, we just kind of talked about how the DCU is kind of a mess, in my opinion, at least. And again, that's not to say, going back to that topic for just a quick second, not to say that I don't like a lot of the films. I love the first Wonder Woman. I thought it was great. I enjoy, Justice League, the Whedon cut. You can call me a fake fan if you want. I don't care. I enjoyed it. And I also, again, documented on this channel, I really like the Snyder Cut. I like Shazam. Thought, Birds of Prey was okay. I liked Aquaman. So, yeah, I didn't like Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't like Man of Steel. I didn't like Batman v Superman. Probably missing one over there, but, that's all right. And so, but again, and Suicide Squad, obviously. And I thought Suicide Squad was not great. But regardless, the Suicide Squad is coming out, and it has very little to do with the first Suicide Squad, other than returning cast members like Viola Davis and Joel Kinnaman. But James Gunn is now directing a new film. It's coming out in just over, I think, 3 weeks. Pretty close, actually, and I'm very excited to see it. And we got our first reactions, and I wanted to go over a few of them and just kind of get a general consensus of how people are feeling about the Suicide Squad. And honestly, right off the bat, I think that it sounds excellent. And I think that that's to be expected at this point because James Gunn has been very vocal about the fact that he has gotten to make the film that he always wanted to make with the Suicide Squad. Warner Brothers had very little interference with him. And I think that's awesome. So let's go over just a few reactions really quick. Let's see. This first one comes from Brandon Davis, comicbookmovie.com, who says, "The Suicide Squad is absolutely insane. Vicious as hell, raunchy, unforgiving. James Gunn is fully unleashed. It's sometimes overwhelming, but it has moments of heart, humor, action, motion, all of it. Relentless. There's nothing like it." And honestly, I think that basically sums up what we see in the trailers. A lot of the people, we'll go over a couple more reactions in a second, are saying that this film really does earn the R rating. It's violent, it's vicious, like Brandon Davis was saying. And I think, if James Gunn is going to go for it with a Suicide Squad film, then by all means. I mean, we see King Shark in one of the trailers ripping somebody in half. Like, that's pretty crazy. I think that James Gunn is not allowed to do that sort of stuff with Marvel, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, because I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy needs to be rated R, guys. Like, I think even if James Gunn was given the option to make a Guardians of the Galaxy film R-rated, other than maybe adding a few more F-bombs if he wanted to do that, I don't think it would even get an R rating, because that's just not what Guardians is. But it's clear that James Gunn also wanted to make a sort of R-rated comic book movie, and I'm very glad that he got to do that with the Suicide Squad. I'm very glad that he is getting the opportunities now to make the Peacemakers show because of, the rewarding his creative vision. Let's go to another one. This is from Steven Weintraub of Collider, who says, "Absolutely loved the Suicide Squad. The movie is super violent, extremely funny, and a huge home run for James Gunn and DC. Tons of surprises and things I wasn't expecting. Just a great movie," which is awesome. And I think, just going through really quickly a few more of these reactions, I won't read every single one. There's a bunch of them. But basically all of them are echoing the fact that this film is insane. It's just absolutely off the walls, it's just absolutely crazy what they were able to do with this film. It's unexpected, which I think was something that we were, ironically expecting this film to be unexpected, with James Gunn saying, be prepared. Most of the characters are going to die. Which is really interesting, by the way. I mean, like, would Harley Quinn die? I'm not sure. I doubt it. But, I mean, you never know. If they gave James Gunn the complete creative freedom to do whatever he wanted, he might have done it. It's hard to say. I'm really curious to see what happens. And most of all, people are just saying that this film is fun. But not in the way that, like, a film to me, like, maybe even Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, to give a more apt example, that film is fun. It has, a lot of emotion at the very end with Yondu, but overall, I would just say that the film is fun. It's fine. It's really enjoyable. But this, a lot of the critics here are seeming to say and have the consensus of this film is fun, but it also is emotional It has heart, it has humor, it has everything, and I think that that's what you really want to look for in a good comic book movie. I think, we'll talk about Black Widow right after this, but like a film, you'd want a film to be funny in certain places if it warrants it. Like a film like Logan even has a good couple jokes in there. You want the film to have a heart, no matter what the film is, I think. And as in a film like The Suicide Squad, you just want it to be fun. And honestly, that's all I'm expecting. It's just to have an absolute blast watching The Suicide Squad. And I'm just really excited to see it. So, honestly, even though James Gunn had that whole dramatic situation, and even though the first Suicide Squad film wasn't my favorite comic book film ever, I think this film looks fantastic. I have no idea how it connects to the DCU at all, and honestly, I don't think James Gunn cares, really. I don't think I care that much either, and I think that's fine. You have Marvel, you have DC, I think that's fine. So I'm really excited, and I would love to know if you guys are excited as well about the Suicide Squad, because I'm just, I'm so happy that we're getting comic book movie month after month after month. I think it literally is every month. We had Black Widow in July. July. We had what is it? Suicide Squad in August, Shang-Chi in September. I think Venom 2 in October, Eternals in November, Spider-Man December, and I think February is it picks back up with Thor, or I could be completely wrong. It could be something else. But anyways, I'm super excited about that. And so those are the first reactions to the Suicide Squad. Super great to hear.